Hello, my name is Jay Bridgeball. I'm a real estate broker since 1988. I've seen the good days, the bad days, and the not so bad days. My passion is to educate consumer about all aspect in real estate. Actually, I sold over $1.75 billion in real estate. Now, that's a lot of experience. I went through many failures, many successes, and I've seen many stories that you will be amazed. Not everything looks so glamorous as it is sometimes. On Let's Talk Real Estate, we will dig deep down and I will take you step by step through every process from buying your first home to buying a multi-million dollar investment property. We will have various people on this show: lawyers, investors, we'll have mortgage brokers, appraisals, and everyone else to assist us to take you to that point. My aim is to break it down in such easy terms that you will be able to follow. So please join me every Thursday between 1 and 2 and let's talk real estate. Hello, and let's talk real estate. Welcome to another segment of Let's Talk Real Estate. Today, we will be discussing everything about basement apartment. What is good about basement apartment, what is not so good about basement apartment, and what to do. And today we have a special guest, Bhaskar Joshi. Bhaskar did his PhD in engineering, and he hosts a company that called Out of the Box Engineering. Bhaskar does a lot of work where they actually bring basement apartment up to standard. There are over 207,000 basement apartment in Ontario, Bhaskar.
which are not retrofit.
Right, but they're all legal but not retrofit. Many people confuse the fact that, hey, how can it be legal and not retrofit?
Uh, Actually, as 270,000, as you say, 230,000, you say, they are built before, not as per the current code, and that need to be updated.
Yes, that's true. The government in Ontario, they have a shortage of homes, right? So that's why they are allowing everyone to bring their apartment up to code. And I can remember in the old days, Amit, where we will say, hey, you know what? If your property is built before a certain time, then your grandfather, you can legalize it. Now the government have got rid of all that and say, hey, they are all legal, bring it up to code.
Exactly. If we see the Brampton, before 2015, there wasn't any law which having second unit is the basement they are allowing. But in 2015, Brampton started allowing Brampton resident to have second unit legally registered with the city, so they can use that for rental purpose.
And it's very important. An average basement apartment brings in about
Could be about 1,300 and maybe 1,350, depending on the size. The smallest ones maybe $900, and then you can go as high as 1,550 if you have a really lavish basement apartment. Bhaskar, we have some clients that were really interested in having that separate income, and this was prior to 2015. So they actually built these basements, and they've had separate exits. They've had contractors come in and just do kind of the bare minimum involved. These guys, they don't want to be illegal or against the rules or against regulation. You do some work on updating those. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's very easy. It's take little bit patience for the homeowner.
Right.
However, it's very easy now. As city is allowing, city is helping people. Actually, all the people in the city want them to make this basement to retrofit to the up to the code. It's safe for everybody. It's a win-win situation. It's very easy. If you are a homeowner having this kind of basement and you want to register with the city, you can simply go to the city and apply to make this basement to the up to date.
Are they going to slap us on the wrist for having it back in 2007 or?
Not really, not
No.
really. They are very helpful people.
Yeah, the city is there to help us to
Oh,
make
right.
sure it's being done. Remember, it's safety at
Yeah.
the same time. It's very important for safety. Many people tend to remain renting their apartment as is, and there is a very high risk to that. In the event of something happened to the tenant, what could be the outcome?
There is, if you Google, you will see lots of cases, especially in Brampton. Uh, if they don't, I see a case where a person was under fire and the window was covered in the bar. They could
Oh,
not
wow.
open, and they see their wife burning inside.
Oh,
So that was the case. If there is the proper unit, fire person can break the window, take the people out. So there are many cases where, what happened when the fire happened. People are not burning to the fire; they die because of the smoke. If all the alarm are linked, they can easily escape. If the house is basement is built as per the code, they design in a way that they can resist fire up to 30 minutes. 30 minutes they can come out anyway.
While we're on the topic of fire, now there's two things that I've always been curious about, and we hear misinformation sometimes. Now, what is the rules about air smoke alarms that are linked or non-linked? Is that something that's required?
Yes, they changed the code in 2013. Now on top of the link smoke alarm, they need a strobe light.
Oh,
If
Yes.
somebody is hearing impaired,
like a business, yeah.
Yes. So if somebody is hearing impaired living in your apartment, they will have a strobe light. They can visually see and run out of the house. So what happened last year around this time, we had a case of fire that there was a fire, and one big girl and one small girl was on the second floor.
Right.
Person living in the apartment basement, he saved the small girl, but big girl could not be saved because their smoke alarm wasn't working, not interconnected. The new law, if you are having a legal basement, they will make sure you have a link smoke alarm. So if something happened in the basement, everyone
they're
know.
all will
If
go
something
off.
happened in the second floor, everyone know, and they have a chance to come out.
Right.
Safety and life is the number one priority for everybody.
Okay, well that's good stuff. Well, actually, you know what? On the same topic again, because we do hear something about the difference with fire-rated drywall. How does that work?
Well, yeah, the thing is, let's continue this. We'll talk about
Yeah.
the rated drywall shortly. The thing is, these alarm system now they actually can communicate with each other. They're so modern, and most of the time, many people pay to get them hooked up to monitoring center as well,
Right.
so that in the event someone is not home, at least somebody is being alerted. And let's ask Bhaskar at this point. Good point. What is involved in legalizing your basement?
Yes.
I mean, it's already legal to retrofit your basement. What's really involved?
Well, every good thing comes with the cost.
Yes.
So the things you need is the patient. However, that is paid off. The things to legalize your current basement, you have to apply for to the city. That's need zoning permit. That's cost $200. Second is building permit. That's cost around it depends how many visits you need. That's cost around $1,000. So in $1,500 to $2,000 cost with the city, you can make your basement legal, registered with the city. However, they will inspector of the basement, inspector of the city will tell you what exactly need. Your designer like me tell you what you need to retrofit, and then you can. It's a 2-3 months project. However, you can do it.
And if you're building from scratch, it's
Oh,
probably a
that's-
little bit easier. No?
If you're building from scratch, that's the right way. So now, if you are thinking, if the viewer is thinking to do your brand new basement, I highly suggest to go with the legalized as a long-term advantage of having legalized basement
Definitely.
and less cost compared to you do it and then you retrofit it.
Yeah, so if you got to walk me through the process. I have this existing property. I'm renting out the basement. It's not really
Right.
brought up to code. The first thing first is maybe I have to try to get my tenant out because it's not up to code.
Not really,
No,
not,
not really.
really. See,
So,
what happened, what I see in my cases,
Uh-huh.
why people go with the legalized basement, which someone complain or city inspector came and say, okay,
Okay.
shut down the business or do the retrofit, or if you don't shut down the business, this is your penalty.
Okay, so
So-
many of those cases are like that. So I could do my retrofit while the person is living there. Let's say a tenant is living there.
It depends how much you
Need work to be
needed
done?
to work. If it's always best, if I'm a rental and you start working, is not good for me.
No.
So
for
if
health
you are,
reason.
if it's easy, you can have your your basement vacant for 2 months, and you can do the job and you can
And
rent
finish.
it again.
So if you have to walk through the process, number one, I have a basement apartment. My job is first is to call someone like you that
Right.
will take it. You will take it maybe to the city and do the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Or if I have to do it, I have to go into the city, say, hey, I have a basement apartment. I want to bring it up to code. Could you give me the regular paperwork, and then you can move on from there, right?
See, my work is to design, to convert regular basement to the legal basement. So I know exactly when I visit your home, I know what you need to do.
Okay.
So I can estimate or guesstimate the cost
Uh-huh.
and time. Now you know what involved.
Okay.
And I will offer you couple of options you to select from, and which is okay with the code and the city inspector, and then we will present that case to the city. Once inspector tell us, they might tell us that you need certain things more or less, and we will follow that, and we can complete the legalizing basement.
Okay, so you know what? Why don't we do this? So let's. We are about in break time. Let's take a break shortly, and when we come back, Bhaskar will delve into what is needed really to bring that apartment up to code. What the city really look for. See you soon.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Discover the incredible India.
Welcome back. So we have Bhaskar here. He is a designer and engineer, and he helps many clients retrofit their basement or design a legal basement dwelling from scratch. If you have any questions, you feel free to give us a call. We are live right now at 647-931-4701.
Yeah, so Bhaskar, why don't you walk us through the process, what's involved from the time we give you a call to come and check our basement out? Assuming, let's say, it's not finished at this point, what's involved? What would you do?
Oh, this is the right time. If it is not finished, means you have a brand new basement, which is
Yes.
need to be done as per legal basement. To do a legalized city as per the code, and the city want 3 parking. So if you have 2-car garage, two-car garage count as two parking, plus you might have outside two parking. That is four parking.
Okay.
Basically, homeowner need two parking and one for the tenant. So
Okay.
anyway, in any case, if you are thinking to have legal basement, you must have
Minimum
three parking.
Wow. Okay.
Otherwise, it's no. There is other way to do it, like you remove the grass and you extend the parking if possible. Then we have to check with that zoning.
Okay.
If you are in a boundary, we can get checked with the zoning and it might be okay. Second thing is that in zoning law, you have to have 4 feet distance from your property line to the building for a safety reason. That's second thing they know. If you don't have a side entrance and if you want to put one, if it's allowed, you can put it one, or if you have an entrance from the garage is also approved, as long as there is egress exit in the basement. Now this is a zoning requirement, and when you go in the basement, when we design that will be my area to design as per the code. You will have a couple of options to select from, and which is approved with the code and the city, and you select one and we represent that case to the city. They approve the permit. When they approve the drawing, we receive a permit. Now you can start building your basement. Once you start building your basement, each and every process, city inspector will come and inspect. At the framing they will come, at the plumbing they will come, at the finishing they will come for HVAC, they will call, and the final they will come for final inspection. After everything is done, you go back to the city and pay the final fees, and you can register your legal second unit with the basement. They also need requirement that you have to have insurance. That means you are also covered with the insurance. There is a myth that if I do legal basement, my property tax will go 1.5 times, it will roof high. It's not the case.
No. Okay.
When you do legal basement, your property tax will increase only from 2% to 5% maximum.
So about 3% it goes up by, right?
Yeah, average you can say that.
Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, considering that now you have a basement apartment, that
getting income,
you are getting income, and you know that it's safe to rent.
It's done by the legal licensed electrician, inspected by the safety authority of electric safety authority, and it's insured. Insurance also knows that you have a legal basement. You are tension free.
Well, when it comes to insurance company, that's where you really have to be careful. If it's legal, and if it's let's say retrofitted and gone through the city all the work, you will find that chances are the insurance company will insure it. Most of the time, they do their underwriting when it's time to collect, not when you are paying.
Absolutely. See, I give you example. When something happen, they hire engineer like us and ask us, tell us a way how to not pay for $1 million house which is set on fire. Now we can find out that you have a stove in the basement and electrical was not up to the code, which was generate too much heat, and that was the cause of the fire, and you're not covered. You're not getting paid for your house, which insurance you took it and was not it was done by the tenant in the basement.
Yeah, these things, insurance company, they are very sly. I'll give you this quick scenario. The recent hurricane that went across in Florida and all over the place. Right. Many of the people there have what they call hurricane insurance, right? To cover you in case of hurricane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is a deductible about $3,000-4,000. I know of one person that called in and they said the deductible is only applicable if the hurricane don't have a name. So you tell me, almost all the hurricanes have a name. So now what did the deductible moved from the regular $2,000 or $2,500 to 3% of the appraised value of the property.
Wow.
So suddenly it moves from $2,500 to $36,000. You
Yeah.
might as well do the work yourself,
Yeah.
right? So that's the power of insurance company. They have the legal resources to fight you. That's why you want to make sure things are being done right. I know of two situations. One where a client slipped and fell on the driveway,
All right.
a tenant, and they sued. The insurance company did not cover because the basement was not brought to code. And the tenant won $500,000.
Wow.
Right? That was their award. They were awarded that because they could not go back for work, and
And all of this comes out of the owner's pocket, right?
Yeah, that was hard cash from the owner's pocket.
Many of the case, owner doesn't tell insurance company that they are renting in a basement.
That's true. That's true. And I guess the same apply for these so-called rooming houses. Everyone looking, oh wow, I'll buy a home next to the college. I'll put 10 rooms inside and get $500 per room. And the same
That-
problem there. Yeah.
Most of the time, people don't know the building code. Building code are designed that to make people live safely in the house.
Yep.
So when you have 10 rooms in the one house, that's not allowed. That city will not allow, and if they build it, you know how much charge, or if somebody get hurt,
Yeah.
that's on top of that. But how much charge the city will give you as a penalty?
That's a very, very
This could
good
ruin
point.
you.
Yeah, that could ruin you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bhaskar, I have a basement a home about 2,000 square feet. Let's say the basement is not finished. What's the cost involved in finishing that basement legally? I mean, bring it to code.
As for my knowledge, it depends on what you put in your basement. But the bare minimum cost, if you don't see the cost of the legalize, if you just do by yourself, for example,
Right.
that will cost you around 30 grand, for example.
Okay.
Let's say that number. If you decide you want to do legal basement, you add 15 to 20,000 costs on top of that.
Okay.
But I would say that 20 grand what you spend extra
Uh-huh.
how far it will take you.
Okay, so that $20,000 more, let's say 50,000 to finish a 2,000 square feet home, that will guarantee me a good product. I mean, like driving a Hyundai or driving a Mercedes, right? Which one you want to do? I guess the 50 will be more high-end product and everything else.
Absolutely. I just sell my house this
Right.
year in the month of March, which was
Okay.
and I could easily sell it because I had a legal basement.
Okay.
The purchaser of my house could not afford the whole house. However, because of the legal basement, bank allow him extra 200,000 mortgage coming out from the rent, and he had a headache free that he's buying legal basement.
So
that
many
wa-
benefits of doing it the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true because now the bank can consider that as an income.
And as a seller,
Yes.
I get a good price of my basement.
Yes,
In a time which is hard to sell it, I get a good price.
that's true because everyone wants something that is up to code.
Yeah.
Right? Now, another aspect, let's say I have an existing basement apartment somewhere in the Bramley area, for example, and it has to be I'm planning on legalizing. I really think you know what, it's about time I do it the right way. I call you over. You inspect it. It's very basic. Got separate entrance, go down the stairs, you got 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, living room, the furnace is in a corner. What does it really take? What else do they want to make it legal? I mean, I figure that, that's pretty decent.
Yes. As from the homeowner point of view, it's pretty decent.
Okay.
But when you see the safety of the person, I will give you an example that it's
Yeah, let's take a break and we'll be back shortly. Thanks. Very good.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hello and welcome back. As you know, today we are discussing basement apartments. Basement apartment can be really good for you because it supplements your income. That extra money can go to pay down your mortgage and help you to build wealth faster. However, it's a dangerous side as well. Remember, if it's not up to code and something happened with the tenant, then you may not be covered by your insurance company. It can be a very costly mistake. Today we have one of the pros here, Bhaskar Joshi. They have a company that called Out of the Box Engineering, and they give you the guidance of how to take your basement apartment from either, let's say, from what it is to bring it up to code. They will also look at a new home that have a basement that not even finishes yet, and they will tell you exactly what you need to do to get it legalized. We have just finished segment 2. Now segment 3, we'll get into what really are the requirements to make that basement apartment retrofitted to bring it up to code. No, Bhaskar, getting back to you, I know Amit mentioned a bit earlier about 5/8 drywall.
Yeah.
What is involved in finishing up the thing? Walk us through a basement apartment that the codes required.
Code are made for the safety. They want tenant or owner to escape from the home in the event of fire.
Right.
Or if they are trapped inside, they still alive until the 911 or fire department come and save us. So you're asking about the thickness of the drywall.
Yes.
The thickness of the 5/8 thickness of the drywall is take 30 minutes to burn down.
And that have to be at the ceiling, right? More of the ceiling, right? Any fire separation.
Okay, when you say fire separation is separating top unit and bottom unit.
Okay.
So if there is a fire in the basement, that will take 30 minutes to reach to the top.
Okay.
If it is on top, they will take 30 minutes to the
Right.
bottom.
How about my sidewall? Do they have to be 5/8 drywall as well?
If you put it, that's fine. But half inch to 5/8 will give you 30 minutes of the separation time.
Separation time. Beautiful. So we need no drop ceiling. Absolutely no drop ceiling.
Yes.
Right. The 5/8 drywall. Do they require insulation between that space?
Now, as per the code, you need to have a Roxul insulation on the ceilings that will help you not to go smoke around in the gap and goes to the other area.
Okay, and the other
people die because of the smoke, not because of the fire.
Right.
So there are many things when you start doing, or when you do the legal basement, there are many things like interconnected smoke alarm. Your furnace will have duct smoke detector. If you have anywhere smoke, that will shut off your furnace. Now that will stop getting smoke to go around.
Oh, because that would circulate the smoke potentially.
Right? So fan will be shut off. Now there is another danger in the furnace room, a gas supply. So if you have a smoke duct detector, you will also have a valve which is stopping the gas supply to the furnace, which will stop
Turn the gas off.
Extra
okay.
safety.
So smoke duct detector will stop gas and rotating and spreading of the smoke.
Okay.
You will have a sprinkler system in the furnace because furnace is very hard to put a drywall. So to shut down the fire in the furnace, that will taken care by the sprinkler system.
Okay.
You will have a fire suppression, as you mentioned, fire 8 wall, and you will have rock-wool insulation not to spread the smoke around the basement and from basement to the other area.
On that same note, there's a lot of people that are confused with window sizes and exits, and or do windows need to be very large, or do they need to be an exit? Can you shed some light on that?
Sure. Cutting a window in the house is, people get scared a little bit because it's gonna cut the concrete and the thing. There are two requirements for window. If you are a tenant and you're living in the basement, would you not like to have some light in your living space, right?
Of course.
So there is a code.
Yes.
In a bedroom, you need 2.5% of the square feet. If you have 100 square feet of the bedroom, then you need 2.5 square feet of the lighting area, window area, so you can get light. And you need to have a window where you can get exit. So 0.35 meter square area is minimum requirement for one person to exit.
So those are actually two different things. One is for your well-being and
Yes.
natural light, and the other is for safety, for exits.
Exactly. There are cases that you don't need second exit. You are okay with egress window.
Can you explain a little bit of what the egress window is? Some of our viewers might not understand.
Sure. Say you have a side entrance.
Right.
So now you have dedicated side entrance to the apartment building.
Okay.
In that case, you only need egress window, where if that something is happen, if that side entrance is blocked, you can go out through the
You
egress
can
window.
climb up through the big window.
Yes.
So a potential separate exit. Got you.
It's not it's not exit, but it's a way to get exit.
Escape.
Egress.
Egress. That's the word.
Okay.
Got you.
Now, if you don't have dedicated exit, side entrance, you might come through the garage, or you have a common space where you put washer dryer and
Right.
top owner and tenant are using the space. In that case, you need to have second exit.
Because that area could be blocked for some reason, right?
Absolutely. If homeowner put something which stop resident of the basement to go out in case of fire, he has the second exit which he can open and come out.
Okay.
So that's a defined egress window. And
Yeah, that's good. Another important area, as you mentioned, smoke is the killer, and the fire burns after, right? So that's why they require self-locking door between the two units.
yes, in case of fire, the whole idea is to separate top unit and bottom unit, fire separated. So they think that what happen if door is open, that the whole thing is not useful. So code require, where is your there is a entrance from the top to bottom, you need to have a fire rated door for 30 minutes with self closing and closure. So it will when you don't use it, close automatically,
Right.
and you are separated.
And the whole idea again to prevent smoke from bellowing from one area to the next area,
Absolutely.
right? Okay, that's very, very interesting. Now, how about the kitchen? I see many of these basement apartments where you have the kitchen at one spot, and right above the stove they have the electrical outlet. What are some of those requirements?
In 90% of the cases, what I see, electrical is not up to the code, but that is not huge cost.
Okay.
When you decide to retrofit, 90% of the cases you need to tear down the electrical stuff and put the new electrical as per the code. If you have a 100 amp electrical panel, we will calculate how many amp you need. If you need more, your electrical panel need to be upgraded to 200 amp.
Right.
That will put you up to the level for electrical.
Okay.
Far as you say, open electrical panel on top of the gas panel, that's not.
Yes,
Definitely not a
I've
code.
seen there was a electrical in the washroom, electrical panel inside the kitchen, across the stove. There are so many of them.
Yes.
Great. That definitely concludes this portion of our segment. We'll be right back shortly, just talking about some different ways that you can legalize your basement with
Bhaskar,
Bhaskar
Joshi.
Joshi.
Okay, thank you.
Discover the incredible India. And welcome back to Let's Talk Real Estate. Again, today we are discussing everything about basement apartments in layman terms so you can understand. Many of us have a basement apartment that we got a friend or family members or even got local contractors that come over and they built it and we think everything is okay. It might not be okay because if something happens, then you can be liable. It's always good to bring it up to code because when it's up to code, it provides safety for your tenants and it provides peace of mind for you. It's a big difference. Now, Bhaskar is an expert in this area. He has a company that called Out of the Box Engineering that is specifically, the object of this company is specifically to assist people in building their basement apartment that conform with city bylaws. So now back to Bhaskar. Bhaskar, now, as we were saying earlier, an average basement to complete, brand new 2,000 square feet, run between 30 to 40 to 50,000 on the high end. Assuming I have a basement apartment and I need some assessment, some preliminary work done to know, it's just my basic investigation stage. And if I give you a call, what would you be able to do for me?
Well, you can always contact me, and my consultation for you is free, and for everybody, my cell number is 416
Yes.
835 6620.
So your consultation is free for this service? Wow.
For the initial first
Initial first service.
So we will find out that are you allow or is it okay to get permit. There is many cases you cannot get permit, like if you don't have sufficient parking or side entrance or space from the property line as per zoning, you're not allowed to have a second unit in the basement.
Okay, like I'm living in an apartment building or a row house, maybe I cannot.
Yes.
So, Bhaskar, on that note, what's the real benefit or what's the reason for having that clearance? It's 4 foot, as you mentioned.
Now there is a fire in the basement and tenant is out. Tenant is coming out, but he doesn't have a space to go out safely, and fire is in the way. 4 feet is a distance where any person can, even though it's a fire, he can walk out without any problem.
Right. So you're saying potentially if the whole side of the home is on fire, they have enough space to get out and make a run for it.
Right.
Also for fire, I mean, think about fire trucks and everything else, and
Mhm.
hoses and all that involved, right? I guess that's bare minimum requirement.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right, so that's what it is. So Bhaskar, now when a person call you, you go across to their home, you look at their basement, you look at whether there's enough parking. You walked in, you start from the outside the door. Is it fire rated door? Is it have a self enclosure? You went down in the basement. You figure whether do they have 5/8 drywall? Is there insulation to prevent smoke from getting to that space, or even oxygen, because space store air, which is oxygen with is
Fuel
fuel
for
for fire, right? So that's all some of the requirements. You explain why the furnace area should have sprinkler system, and now you also mentioned about the system in the furnace where it actually have an automatic shut off in event of smoke. So it just shuts off and shuts the gas off as well. These are all very, very valuable information. You also mentioned about electrical. We may have to update it from 100 amp to 200 amp service to take care of the property. You also talked about strobe lighting, for example, for the hearing impaired. We really, really appreciate all these things, our listeners. These are very important aspects. That's why it's always good to get a professional to help you. Cost up front might be some more, but you know what? When it's done right, you don't have to worry. And that's the important point. So Bhaskar, coming back to this, what would you do once you get there?
So as soon as I reach to the property, I will know exactly would you eligible to apply or not. So now you save time to figure it out.
Right.
And then by inspecting the whole houses and available spaces, I can exactly tell you what is bare minimum cost you need to spend to get up to the code.
Okay, so I will have an idea as to what it will cost me to get to the code. I said go ahead, no problem. Oh, are you the one who will go into the city?
Yes, I have my company which will make drawing for you. I have my contractor too. If you like to select my contractor, they will do the work for you.
Okay.
You need licensed contractor, licensed plumber, licensed electrician to do the job, and we have available that contractor.
Okay, so the first process, whether it's finished or not finished, is to get a proper architectural drawing, right?
So when you have idea of doing a basement, leave 1 month for the designer. So that's a time. So that's I tell you the time how much it need. So 1 month
Right.
for designer. Once they finish designing, the drawing will be submitted to the city. Leave 1 month for the city because they are flooding off as soon as they did from 2015 the
Right.
second unit, and people know it now, and as they feel this is the safest way to do it, city is flooding with the application,
Right.
and they need 1 month to review it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Backlog.
They have a lots of backlog right now.
Right.
They might need little more, so that's 2 months for the design process. After 2 months you get permit, you can start working. In a 1 month and a half you are done with your basement.
Okay, and that's why it's very important also to get licensed contractors, because there's another important aspect. If someone is not licensed and they're not covered by their insurance, the person get harmed in the property is the owner's responsibility, right? Workers'
Definitely.
compensation, that's what it is. What's about
Yeah,
the insurance?
I believe so. And while we're on that topic, now, what's your opinion architecturally regarding building a separate exit? A lot of people don't have that separate exit that's built in homes. Mostly newer homes come with that special option. How do we actually get in there and build that separate exit? And do you have any recommendations on which route to go?
Second exit, separate exit is
Yeah.
there is if the building code and the location of the location permit, you can have side entrance.
And do you dig down for those, correct?
And the side entrance you don't dig down, but if you don't have that space available, you can go into the basement in the backyard, and you can have a stair to the
And that's
basement.
what many of our clients have
Yeah.
done, or many potential homes we're looking at. They have these done. Some of them are done to an exceptionally great standard, and some not so much.
I guess the home that has the walkout basement, it's kind of easier because you already got a walkout basement,
Yeah.
right?
No, you can also do the separate stair from the basement, and that's also legal to have it. You need certain code to space and around in your backyard if you have it, and you can apply for it.
Okay, so that part of it is okay. They must have that. Now, some of the benefits. Let's tell our audience some of the benefits within this last 2 minutes of getting that legalized. Number one, most important benefits, I think, is safety.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, safety for our for the tenants, right?
And we can't forget
And
bank.
peace of mind for the owner,
Not even for tenant, for resident too.
for the residents as well, and peace of mind also for the homeowner, right? The next major, number three.
We can't forget banking when you're getting approved for purchasing a particular property.
As
You're-
that is now getting harder and harder.
Definitely.
Right. So good, you help you to get qualified, because the buyer to get qualified, and because the buyer is generating an income from that basement, that property will worth more. Right. Property tax are not that much. Property tax are probably at 3%, as you said, more over a long term, which is really nothing much to worry over.
Not at
right?
all.
Yeah, if you are paying 5,000 as a property tax, 5% is $250 a year.
Yeah, that's true. That's next to
And,
nothing.
and you're maybe collecting $1,500 or maybe $1,300 in rent. So definitely worth the while. The major takeaway that I guess we're finding here today is that it's always better to do things by the book.
Yes, I think so. The bottom line is that if you do it correctly, it becomes beneficial to you. And just a matter of time, it will catch up on those basement apartments that are not brought to code. A matter of time, gradually, the city will clamp down on you, one
Yep.
by one. But the whole idea behind it is to provide safe accommodation for people to live in.
That's the reason from 2015, safe and economical. From 2015, City of Brampton allowing second unit basement, and that was the reason to have safe and economical living space for the people.
I want to take this 30 seconds to thank our viewers and to give you a quick update on the Caribbean Children Foundation. We are having our 17th annual gala on October the 28th from 6 to, let's say, 1 in the morning. It will be an awesome time, $50 for tickets. And remember, TCCF is an organization that helps pay for surgery for children that cannot afford the surgery. Come on out, give me a call, 416-418-2745, or call Amit at
647-703-1283. And also, we forgot to mention it's at Elite Banquet Hall in Etobicoke. So we'll be having a wonderful time there. And thank you all for viewing.
and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.